Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. It is time for my 5 favorite waiver wire pickups for week 9 of the fantasy football season. These are 5 guys I think could be worth adding for you in your leagues. 2 teams on a bye this week. We had a couple more injuries last week as well, but for the most part, this list, quite frankly, isn't the best. I think there's a couple guys I like more than others, but not the most exciting waiver wire pickup edition list for me this week, unfortunately. So if you're looking for players, good luck to you, and hopefully they work out. But here's 5 guys I think that could help, but I'm not making any guarantees at this point. My first pickup is Jamarius Winston of the Cleveland Browns, owned on 20.1% of leagues on our site. He was clearly a huge spark for the Browns offense last week in passing game. Threw for 334 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first start of the season. Sure, he's going to turn the ball over, but he's always capable of the big game. And this Browns offense seems a lot better with Winston in charge. I'm not just going to throw him in my lineup, but I think he could be a good spot play going forward for fantasy teams. We know his track record. He has definitely produced some big games in the past. My next pickup is Isaac Guriendo of the San Francisco 49ers, owned on 28.2% of leagues on our site. The rookie running back, he is off this week. So if you pick him up, you're not going to be able to use him clearly. But Jordan Mason can't stay healthy right now. He came out of that game with his shoulder issue once again. So I'm not sure what his status is going to be going forward. Christian McCaffrey is speculated to return to the lineup week 10. But I think Guriendo could be the top backup for McCaffrey going forward. So I think that clearly gives him value because McCaffrey, we all know his injury history. He can have trouble staying on the field. And Guriendo looked great last week. He ran 14 times for 85 yards and a touchdown, caught 3 passes for 17 yards as well. Again, 49ers are on a bye this week, but I like this as a pickup, especially if you're a McCaffrey owner and he's out there in your leagues, because Guriendo is available in nearly 70% of leagues on our site. All right, my next pickup's probably my favorite pickup. He was actually on this list last week, and he was my favorite pickup last week as well. And he's still available in about 57% of leagues on our site. And that's wide receiver Cedric Tillman of the Cleveland Browns. He continues to show he's going to be a huge part of this passing game with Amari Cooper now gone. He has 15 receptions for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns on 21 targets his last 2 games. And Jamarius Winston, as his QB, is clearly a positive. He likes to take some chances. Tillman's more of a big play threat in this offense. I really like him a lot going forward. I think he could be a legit number 3 for fantasy teams. Probably the last week you're going to be able to get him if you're one of those 57% of leagues that have Tillman still available. All right, my last 2 pickups are both tight ends. This position's been really fickle this year, but I think both these guys could have some value going forward. The first one's Taysom Hill of the New Orleans Saints, available in about 65% of leagues on our site. He returned to the lineup last week. They found all sorts of ways to get him involved. 6 touches in the game for 41 yards. He was actually targeted a season high 4 times in the passing game. So that was encouraging to me because that helps his floor a lot when he's getting receptions, but he also gets some work around the goal line. They're just a mess offensively, the Saints, because of injuries. So I think Hill could really get some more consistent work going forward. And also, he's a boomer bust play, but when he booms, he can really produce big for fantasy teams. So he's going to be a tough weekly play, but if you want to take some chances and try to score big, I think Hill could be worth some spot starts the rest of the season. All right, my last pickup, again, I mentioned it. It's a tight end, another one, and that's Will Dissly of the Los Angeles Chargers. So he's owned on just 3.1% of leagues on our site, but he's gaining steam in this offense, and I think he could be a consistent factor the rest of the way. He had 5 catches for 41 yards on 7 targets last week. He has at least 4 receptions, 3 straight games, and 11 plus fantasy points, 2 straight games. Again, not a flashy name, but you have to like his floor a little bit in this offense. Justin Herbert likes to look at the tight end, it seems, in the new Chargers offense. And Dissly's getting the work, consistent production, could be worth a pickup in those tight end needy, for any of those tight end needy teams, especially if you start 2 tight ends in your league. I think Dissly's a must pickup. All right, those are 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 9 of the fantasy football season. Good luck to you in navigating those waiver wires. I hope you have a lot of success and hope you win all of those games in week 9. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.